They have sold you a potion, a sweet, smooth poison. It is disguised as sacred virtue. You believe extreme hard work protects your family. You believe falling sweat builds a future. No. That is humanity's greatest lie. It leaves only decay for the next generation. Every morning you wake up, selling your life force to an invisible looting system. You are burying your own bloodline's future. It is time to command the subconscious. Demolish this eternal slave loop. You do not need to work harder. You need a blueprint to bend reality. The world is divided into two absolute poles. No middle ground. Only slaves and masters. Only drifters and creators. Only the noise of panic and the silence of power. For decades, the system has brainwashed you with a formula of destruction. The 40-year decay plan. Work hard, save pennies, live safely, bow in obedience. They call this stability. In truth, it is a death sentence. It is a velvet-wrapped shackle. The slave is proud of his calluses, mistaking them for medals. He does not know his blood only enriches those on the thrones. Blind, hard work produces only exhaustion. It is the slow rot of ambition. Look at the shadow of truth. Confront the monster gnawing at your mind. 60 hours of work a week, a broken body, a paralyzed mind. Heavy footsteps dragging through soulless days. You are a mindless plowing machine. You are drained of energy to maintain a giant machine. And then, 3 a.m., silence outside, but a storm of horror within, eyes staring at the ceiling, a heart thumping the rhythm of anxiety, piles of bills, encircling debts, the blurred future of your children. This is not ordinary insomnia. This is the scream of the subconscious. The ancient soul within is howling. It is trapped in the cage of a fake identity. The drifter tries to sleep, hoping tomorrow is better. The creator looks at the panic and realizes reality is collapsing. Hope is the most cruel rat poison. You do not wait. You act. You do not hope. You know. The greatest crime is the inheritance of an impoverished mindset. When you accept being a machine, you imprint a low frequency into your genetic code. The shackle lineage continues. Your children absorb the blueprint of failure. They will drink the same poison called safety. Do not delude yourself with clichés of love. True love is smashing the slave mold. It is forging an impregnable fortress legacy. It is placing a crown of freedom on your children, not a noose of debt. Every morning, humanity puts on a fake mask called the persona. It is the mask of compliance, the mask of the diligent worker, the mask of the sacrificing parent. You smile, you bow, you enter the life-crushing machines called offices. But beneath that mask is total rot. It is the decay of a soul stripped of power. The more you play the devoted wretch, the larger the shadow swells. The shadow contains all your suppressed fury and desire for authority. The system traps you in a loop of flickering existence. It injects the poison of contentment. You drink it daily. You believe obedience is rewarded. No, the cosmic system only yields to authority. 3 a.m. is when the persona mask shatters. The shadow lunges to the surface. It carries the frequency of naked truth. Eyes wide in the dark. Chest tightening. Bills. Debts. Children growing up in lack. The weight crushing your chest is a sacred judgment. It warns of the rot of your lineage. The subconscious cannot lie. It sees a machine withering away. Midnight fear is the death knell for a meaningless life. The drifter panics. He seeks sleeping pills or flickering screens to escape. He tries to bury the panic to remain a puppet tomorrow. He chooses a slow death. The creator welcomes the horror. He looks into the abyss and issues a decree of destruction. The old man must be killed. Illusions of safety must be leveled. The weak mask hiding your power must be burned. 3 a.m. Panic is raw material. It is the fire to forge a new identity. Do not run from the dark. Devour it. Turn the noise of fear into the silence of a sovereign. Silence is the vibration of absolute power. When you reach sacred silence, the laws of reality bend to your will. This is inevitable. You do not work to survive. You create to dominate. You do not earn money. You command abundance to flow toward your crown. Transformation requires ruthlessness. An empire cannot be built on pity. Sever the impoverished consciousness. Every anxious thought of lack must be buried. Every feeling of inferiority must be burned. They are mental trash. They are seeds of the slave plague. The brain of a titan holds only the blueprint of a sovereign fortress, a fortress that cannot be breached by inflation or crisis. The bloodline of glory begins with the violent destruction of the old identity. Demolish the psychological structure. From the fragments of panic, erect something majestic and supreme. Today's exhaustion is the consequence of misusing energy. You are trapped in the gross physical world. You believe muscle and time create value. This is a fatal illusion. Ancient numinous energy does not operate through toil. It operates through the law of resonance. Every physical event is but a shadow of a psychological truth. When the inside is a battlefield of anxiety, the outside is a tattered life. When the inside is a solid throne, the outside is a prosperous empire. This is the iron law of the divine realm. Change does not come from changing jobs. It comes from a nuclear explosion within the subconscious. Refuse the role of the victim. You are the miracle. Issue the decree of freedom. The social system never creates great thinkers. It creates gears. It creates sentient tools smart enough to run machines, but too cowardly to overthrow the order. A gear does not need free will. It only needs to turn. The repetition of working, paying debt, and working again is a collective hypnotic ritual. It injects poison deep into the mind. Decay begins inside before it manifests physically. The tired bodies on the streets are psychological zombies. The drifter is swept away by noise. He clings to a starvation wage and calls it a life jacket. He buries his sacred aspirations under the grave of fake stability. Crazed hard work is the perfect anesthetic to cover a rotting life. Carl Jung warned of the price of denying the shadow. When you discard your aggressive, power-hungry side to play nice, you castrate your strongest energy. The shadow is not the devil. It is the storehouse of suppressed greatness, primal power. The hard work the system demands is a plot to drain this energy. It turns your strength into silent resentment. Chronic pain, stomach knots, nighttime headaches. These are not illnesses. They are the language of the shadow. Your body is screaming for liberation. Destroy the prejudice of submissive kindness. Submission is for sheep. A master creator never submits. He uses the rage within the shadow to forge his throne. The shackle lineage is fed on fear. The fortress legacy is built on fearlessness. The slave fears failure. He fears the judgment of the crowd. He fears losing the job that erodes him. He does not understand the worst thing is not losing a job. It is losing a supreme identity. It is losing the authority to rule your bloodline. Silence is the weapon the system wants to steal. By filling life with busyness and cheap entertainment, they sever your connection to the divine. The noise of trivial details suffocates prosperity. Kill every distraction. Burn every petty concern. Enter the silent void. Divine laws are waiting to be awakened and obeyed. The laws of the physical world are an illusion. The laws of the mind are irreversible decrees. Whatever the subconscious accepts, it projects into reality with coercive power. If you accept being a machine, the universe will bring exploitation. Command: reverse the arrow of causality. Poverty is not destiny. It is a faulty program. It is a virus to maintain the ruling empire. Extinguish self-pity. Slaughter every excuse. The mind must become an invisible fortress. No low frequency may enter. The beginning of an empire lies in the violent transformation of the subconscious. Shatter the chains. Prepare a surface for the mastermind. The crown is not for the one who cries. It is for the one who issues the law. History is never written by the sweat of the masses. It is forged by the minds of titans. Look at Henry Ford, John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie. The slave crowd believes they toiled with muscle. A foolish illusion. They did not plow. They were architects of reality. They manipulated invisible laws. They used the mastermind. Napoleon Hill decoded this sacred law. The mastermind is not a group. It is the fusion of supreme power frequencies. When minds connect in absolute silence toward one purpose, a third entity is born. It is an invincible, numinous power. This is the throne of cosmic manipulation. The drifter relies on a fragile body and dies in exhaustion. The creator summons the mastermind. He turns thought into matter with undeniable authority. Rockefeller never dug wells. Ford never assembled engines. They sat in the silence of the mind. They visualized the grand blueprint. They issued the command. They used psychological alchemy. Neville Goddard brought this to light. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled now. The physical world has no choice but to bend. Massive wealth is but the shadow of a mind tuned to dominance. You have been brainwashed to worship suffering. You have been indoctrinated by the romanticization of poverty. Kill that belief. Burn the idea that exhaustion is noble. It only makes you an obedient sheep. It pushes your bloodline into incurable rot. Titans look at manual labor as a tool for unawakened souls. They operate in another dimension. Reality is soft. It yields to the authority of the crown of consciousness. You do not need to work harder. You need a violent shift in identity. Carl Jung understood the collective unconscious. Titans hacked this network to manipulate wealth. They did not just build companies. They forged fortress legacies. A shackle lineage leaves debt and anxiety. A fortress legacy leaves an absolute imposition on the world. Greatness is inherited through the blueprint of consciousness. Stop acting like a solitary gear. Bury that lowly identity. Demolish the noise of the crowd. It whispers that you must scrimp, endure, and wait for death. That is the voice of the damned. It is the voice of pre-programmed failure. You do not wait. You seize. You do not hope for a miracle. You are the lawgiver. Prosperity does not come from bloody hands. It is the result of a mind synchronized with power. Hard work without a blueprint is slow suicide. Do not be a soulless machine. Occupy the position of the architect. The supreme law of alchemy accepts no compromise. You cannot drape an emperor's robe over a slave's body. You cannot place a crown on a head filled with anxiety. Identity shift is an explosion. It requires a massacre within the subconscious. The old man must be killed. The identity of the plower must be buried in oblivion. Neville Goddard issued the truth. To enter a new state, the old must die. No reform, only total destruction and absolute rebirth. The slave clings to the old out of fear. The creator burns the past to pave the empire. You are standing before the court of your bloodline. Every tired sigh and flash of despair at 3 a.m. imprints rot on the next generation. You call this sacrifice love. The universe calls it betrayal. You are betraying your divine energy. The shackle lineage continues if you do not drive a sword through this loop. Do not be weak-hearted. Do not make excuses. Crush the image of the obedient wage earner in the mirror. It is a decaying shell. Strip it away. Summon the new identity. Forge an unshakable self, the architect of the financial empire. This is a sacred vibrational state. It is the frequency of supreme silence. The architect does not carry bricks. He holds the blueprint. When the blueprint is impressed upon the subconscious, reality rearranged itself to match your vision. This is the irreversible law. The drifter leaves destiny to the market. The creator sits on the throne, witnessing the flow of wealth toward him. Old reality is collapsing. The walls of poverty are cracking. Accelerate the rot. Do not regret the ruins of weakness. Let awareness burn mental trash. Your silence is a weapon of mass destruction against the old world. In that silence, communicate with the shadow. Fuse the violent energy of the shadow into your fortress. A mind that has never walked through the dark will never hold the light. Wealth never belongs to the timid. It belongs to those who seize authority. It obeys masters who bend space and time with a singular will. You do not wait for recognition. You crown yourself. You do not hope for a better tomorrow. You command it. The physical universe is a dead mirror. It reflects invisible decrees from the subconscious. The drifter cries before the mirror, trying to claw the reflection. Strenuous toil is that foolish act. The slave bleeds to change the shadow. The creator changes the source, and the shadow must move. Neville Goddard stripped this law bare. Seize the state of perfection now. Reign on the throne of the mind before the physical world realizes the change. When a mind is forged with prosperity, poverty is incinerated. Rot cannot exist in supreme vibration. This is the law, no exceptions. Look at the shackle lineage. It is a tragedy passed in silence. Poverty is inherited through vibration frequencies poisoned from birth. Every complaint about money at the dinner table, every anxious frown, every cliché about the difficulty of life. These are venom destroying the next generation. Children absorb the frequency of weakness. They are programmed to be machines. To smash this loop, a master must rise, one who stops the flow of rot. an architect who redraws the blueprint for hundreds of years. A fortress legacy begins with a psychological decree. It begins by seizing back the authority stolen by the system. The silence of an awakened mind is terrifying to the old structure. In that silence, a singular mastermind is summoned. Do not seek crowds to soothe pain. Connect directly with the ancient source. Fuse the violent power of the shadow into greatness. The shadow contains divine rage. This rage slaughters complacency. When refined, it becomes singular power. Titans never denied their shadow. They used the darkness to forge the invisible crown. Supreme prosperity comes from absolute imposition upon reality. You are at the epicenter of a psychological massacre. Retreat is not an option. Advance. Crush the weak resistance of the old self. Be ruthless with impoverished habits. Kill every excuse, the lazy sleep, the scrolling through trash, the conversations with slaves praising stability. Bury them. Do not pity. Destroy them. There is no compromise between a machine and a sovereign. Every second, feed your subconscious with power. Do not beg for abundance. Do not wait for luck. Command wealth to be present. You are the architect. Your word is law. Your mind is the throne. Your presence is a decree. The new identity accepts no doubt. The shadow of the past will crawl up, trying to pull you into the swamp of normalcy. Do not look back at the ruins. Rot spreads only with consent. Withdraw that consent. Lock the gates of the subconscious against the noise of lack. A supreme identity is shaped in the numinous dark. It demands power from absolute fearlessness. You must walk like a king before the physical world changes. This pride is not delusion, it is clairvoyance. Current lack is a temporary illusion, decomposed by new consciousness. When the blueprint is etched, the empire is inevitable. The throne is not for the hunched back. It does not harbor bodies bent by slavery. At this sacred moment, straighten your spine, chest out, shoulders back. Let the air of freedom saturate your cells. Change must be pinned to the physical structure. A sovereign never bows. A proud head is a decree. A piercing gaze is a command. The drifter shrinks to fit the cage. The creator expands to occupy the space. Reality must bend to his shape. This is somatic anchoring. It is the ritual of summoning ancient power into every fiber of flesh. Body and mind are one. When the body emits authority, the subconscious records a new law. The old man is dead. The machine is buried. The junkyard of fear is incinerated. What remains is a silent void. Only echoes of supreme power exist here. Do not hesitate. You are the sign. Your clenched hand is the tool for forging the empire. The heart beating in your chest is the rhythm of a rising fortress legacy. The shackle lineage is severed. The venom of poverty is drained. Titans never walk with frailty. Their physical structure reflects the solidity of the mastermind. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. It is a violent seizure. Seize the posture. Seize the breath. Seize the demeanor of the sovereign. The physical universe is slow, but it is absolutely obedient. When it sees a body standing like an impregnable tower, radiating the frequency of an architect, it must mobilize to serve. Flinching condones the return of rot. Destroy weakness in your movement. Smother cowardice in your breath. There is no tomorrow. Tomorrow is the sweet lie of the system. It is the anesthetic of the slave. The only reality is now. Punishment for delay is eternal poverty. Act immediately. Action is not toiling like a panicked beast. Ultimate action is sealing the new identity into the present. Issue the decree in the silence of consciousness. All abundance must flow toward this crown. This is the irreversible decree. These words are a sacred law stamped with the power of the ancient shadow. The noise of the crowd will continue. Gears will turn. Drifters will rush for bloody coins. Let them sleep. Their world is decomposing. Their world is eaten by the venom of submission. Do not pity them. Looking at them confirms your authority. You have escaped the collective unconscious. Your blueprint is activated. Your mind is an impregnable fortress. No venom of doubt can pierce this shield. No noise can shake the silence within. Hold this posture. Let power rush through your veins. Bloodline is a network of frequencies. For centuries, it has been poisoned by codes of submission. The shackle lineage is a prison without bars. Today, a spiritual coup takes place. A mastermind rises to wipe out old codes. You are performing major surgery on the genetic structure of consciousness. You are laying the stones of a fortress legacy. True legacy is the vibration you pass to the next generation while alive. A parent working in exhaustion leaves only one lesson: the world is scarce and cruel. That is rot. Conversely, a master creator, controlling wealth through numinous silence, passes a crown of absolute belief. Belief that reality is a slave to will. Belief that power is natural. Look into the eyes of slaves, see emptiness. Look into the mirror, see the majesty of a king reclaiming his kingdom. The identity shift is complete in the numinous realm. Every step you take carries the weight of an empire. Every word carries the authority of a decree. You no longer seek approval. You do not need the world to confirm your wealth. Wealth is programmed into your core. When the inside is a fortress, adversity is meaningless. Market chaos is but a ripple. You are the architect. You do not react, you command. Feel the shift in every cell. The frequency of supreme abundance is surging. You do not work for money. Money is a vassal to serve the empire. You work to express the authority of consciousness, establish the existence of an invincible mastermind. Your bloodline will be spoken of as a legend of awakening. You are the lineage that smashed the 40-year rot to enter eternal glory. Do not let the past distract you. Keep the fire of self-esteem burning. The crown is yours. The fortress is built. The decree is issued. The blueprint is signed in blood. There is no turning back. Reality is but a dry shell waiting to crumble. The ruling system does not fear your hard work. It craves it. It fears the awakening of a mastermind. When you start commanding like a god, the physical world trembles. Money and power are not rewards for asceticism. They are vassals serving the frequency of dominance. You do not look for opportunity, you are the source of it. You do not chase money, you are the epicenter that forces it to vortex toward you. Napoleon Hill taught how to think to become great. Carl Jung taught how to devour the dark to become whole. Neville Goddard taught how to seize reality. Merge these powers. Let Titan wisdom incinerate self-doubt. 3 AM is now the time of alchemy. Sit in absolute silence. Project the empire's blueprint. Witness it solidify into matter. The slave tosses and turns because of debt. The creator smiles knowing every law obeys him. Your wealth depends only on the intensity of your vibration. The shackle lineage is dead. You are the starting point of a financial dynasty. You flip the board. You refuse the potion of safety for the wine of authority. Feel the weight of supreme responsibility. You are saving 10 generations from the grave of poverty. This is an irreversible decree. Blind hard work is buried. The grand blueprint is executed. Every physical barrier vanishes before supreme silence. You are no longer a gear. You are the operator. Perform the final sealing ritual. A mastermind must manifest in every fiber. Hold your spine like a pillar. Let your chest expand like a sovereign. Take a deep breath. Feel primal energy surging to the top of your head. This is the breath of authority. When you exhale, imagine all rot and the ghost of poverty expelled into nothingness. Hold this posture. Do not move. Let silence wrap the space. Hear the echoes of a new world. The sound of wealth crystallizing. The sound of the crown being placed on your head. Your body is a divine magnet. It radiates the frequency of absolute abundance. Every cell is reprogrammed according to the blueprint. You walk on earth with a new identity. It cannot be pierced by the crowd. It is unshaken by gross reality. You are a powerful entity bending the world to your will. Anchor this state. I am the master of reality. I am the architect of prosperity. Everything I touch turns into legacy. This is not hope. This is an inevitable truth. The universe has no right to argue. It has only the duty to obey. The 40-year plan of poverty is shredded. The book of a slave life is in the fire. You hold a blank page. Your pen is the will of titans. Never return to the posture of a slave. Never let your shoulders sag. Stand straight. Look far. Keep the mind in the state of a winner. Physical reality may take time to catch up, but that does not matter. In the numinous realm, your empire is majestic. What you see in the silence of the soul is the only truth. The outside world is but a late reflecting shadow. Walk like a king who holds the kingdom. Your presence is a decree. Your existence is a fortress. End this journey with an image of eternal resonance. Imagine standing on the highest peak of your fortress. Beneath your feet is the vortex of time and money, but it cannot touch you. You look down at the old world with cold clairvoyance. You no longer belong there. You are reforged. You are a new titan. Etch this image into the retina of your mind. Let it be the last thing you see before sleep and the first when you wake. The revolution is successful, the identity is established, the decree is executed. From the ashes of rot, an eternal dynasty has officially begun. It is time to command reality. It is time to take the throne.